this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Port Clinton City Council meeting at Port Clinton City Hall, Melinda Hartlott Chambers, to the regular scheduled meeting of October 8th, 2024. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence for those protecting and serving our country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Beth Gilman.
Excused.
Margaret Phillips. Here. Richard Morgan.
Here.
Pat Hovis. Here. Jerry Trolley.
Here.
Kathy King.
Excused. Council, you previously received the September 10, 2024 regular meeting minutes, but as we only have 4 members of council here to vote, we will have to table those until the next council meeting on 10/22/2024. The chair notes a certification has been made regarding compliance with the rules and notifications of this meeting. And we have a guest presentation this evening. Marcia, would you like to stand and introduce yourself? Either one, or where at your chair, whichever you want, whatever you're comfortable with.
Well, I would like to stand. Council, thank you for allowing me to speak tonight in front of you. My name is Mircea Handru. I'm the Executive Director with the Mental Health and Recovery Service Board. A little bit about me, I came to the United States 20 years ago to Tiffin University. I have a master's degree in business administration from Tiffin University. I started working for the board 12 years ago, so I've been with the board for 12 years. I became U.S. citizen 9 years ago. So we live in Seneca County and I have 2 daughters. But I do want to tell you a little bit about the board, which I believe is fairly important for you as a council and the mayor and the public to hear. Mental health and recovery service boards are public entities throughout the state of Ohio, very similar to health departments, which a lot of people are familiar with, or Board of Developmental Disabilities. The main difference between us and the other entities is that there are 88 counties in Ohio and there are 50 mental health and recovery service boards, which means some of us cover more than 1 counties, so they are called districts. So for the first 55 years or so of this public entity's existence in Ohio, Ottawa County was in a district with Erie County. So again, for the first 55 years or so since Ohio created these public bodies, Ottawa County was Erie County in a district. The other districts out of you was Sandusky, Seneca, and Wyandotte, 3-county district. You might be aware that October 1, 2021, so almost exactly 3 years ago, Ottawa County and Erie County separated, and Ottawa County joined our district, now becoming a 4-county district, and now Erie County is a single-county district. Okay, I will tell you about the services that we provide, and maybe some new services that we implemented in Ottawa County in the past 3 years. But before that, I want to tell you a little bit about our tax levy collection, just to educate you a little bit on that. As you know, we have a levy renewal on the ballot here in Ottawa County November 5th. A few things that are important to know. This is for Ottawa County and is Ottawa County specific. It has nothing to do with the other 3 counties in the district. Every dollar collected here will have to stay with Ottawa County residents. That's an important thing to know. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because for the first 55 years or so of this existence of Erie and Ottawa County, that didn't have to be the case. So when we as public entities, if we are districts, when we put the levy tax on the ballot for the public to vote, we can do it 2 different ways. One, we can do it through the county commissioners placing on a ballot through a resolution, which we are doing here in Ottawa County. And if that's the case, any tax collected in Ottawa County has to stay with Ottawa County. Or the district board, which will be my board, can actually put the issue on a ballot, and then the issue will be in the entire district. So here previously was Erie and Ottawa, residents of both counties were voting together or placed on a ballot by the board. Therefore, there's no restrictions where you spend the money within the 2 counties. And that's probably one positive thing that happened to Ottawa County from the merger is that now everything you collect here in Ottawa County stays with Ottawa County, where previous 5 years prior to the merger, is our understanding between $900 and $1 million of these property taxes in Ottawa County were being spent on Erie County services. Okay, in a legal way, you are able to do it. So our board is set up very differently. Every county has their own levy, and the money follow the residents of that county, so we don't crisscross that. So I want to make sure everybody understands that. I want to also make sure that residents understand that whenever property evaluations happen, and just happened here in Ottawa County, and I know the property evaluations went up, a levy renewal like us does not mean that we will collect more. So it doesn't matter where your property evaluations go up, we will still collect the same as a mental health recovery service board. So with the law, we are an outside millage, which means we will always collect the amount when the levy first passed. So if the levy passed 20 years ago, we will collect the amount from 20 years ago, regardless where your property evaluations go. Does it kind of make sense? Without getting into a lot of the other things. So let me tell you a little bit about services. So as I said, we are similar to a health department, but really we focus on mental health and addiction services. Yes, please. Everything is mental health and addiction services we usually try to be involved with. I would like to highlight 3 main services that might be of your interest, more specific to Ottawa County since we came here in Ottawa County 3 years ago. The number one thing I would like to highlight that I'm very proud of is our mobile crisis response team services. Our board district is the first rural district in Ohio to have a mobile crisis response team. And as soon as we merged with Ottawa County, we brought their services over in Ottawa County. Well, really, our mobile crisis response team, what they do, if a person is in a mental health crisis, they go to wherever the person is. Where traditionally we tell that person or the family member, hey, take them to counseling tomorrow morning, or take them to the ER, or take them to a psychiatric unit. Now, if it's a crisis, and it can be at the person's home, it can be at the city hall, it can be at the park, it can be anywhere in the community, our team will get in a car and go to the location. When we implemented the service initially, our team was usually being called or dispatched through the 911 system. So we have very close collaboration with first responders on scene. Sometimes the first responders get to a home, then they realize it's not really a criminal matter, it's more of a mental health situation. They can call our mobile crisis response team. Our team goes to the home, they can do an evaluation there, and they can decide from there what the next steps might be. One of the steps can be that we can actually transport them. We have the ability to transport them to a psychiatric unit or to a counseling center or work with the family on a safety plan. Make sure they are stabilized on medication, whatever the situation might be. So without getting into a lot of details, I'm really proud of this service, so I want you guys to know you have that today in Ottawa County, in the city of Port Clinton. Today is 8 hours a day. We are hoping that after the first of the year, we can enhance it and expand it to 16 hours a day coverage. And we actually applied for a large state grant there. We are hoping we're going to be awarded, where this service is going to expand even more with additional services for people 21 and younger. So will be another component of this team. We'll focus a little bit more on responses to individuals who are 21 and younger. Really complex service. I want you guys to know our teams, they don't carry guns or tasers or anything. Really what they use is their skills. Their verbal skills to de-escalate the situation and help the individual. The other service I would like to mention, and I'll open for question, is a foster care assistance program that we implemented with Ottawa County Department of Job and Family Services. So again, prior to the merger, we developed a collaboration with our previous 2 counties, and since we merged with Ottawa County, we added Ottawa County as well, to really work on assistance for foster care needs for children within Ottawa County. Again, without getting into a lot of details, sometimes children who are needing foster care placement or treatment foster care or group home placements, which are usually more severe or more challenging children, right now are being shipped out of Ottawa County. So today, if you need a youth mental health group home for an Ottawa County child, there's no place in Ottawa County, so they are being shipped out. And the cost is could be anywhere between $385 a day to $950 a day for that child. And it's not unusual to have 11, 12, 13-year-olds going to these facilities because family can't take care of them anymore, or they are extremely severe and there's no place within the county. So really what we did, we are doing like a three-tier approach, and we complete the first two. Our number one thing is to establish more foster homes within the county. Families that we work with, that we train, that we supervise, where we pay them a fee that's much cheaper than a private foster home, okay? Because you didn't have traditional foster homes, you had these private entities throughout Ohio, they was charging the county 4 or 5 times the amount. And we enhanced that, and we have placement now within our 4 county district. So this collaboration that we did is, doesn't matter if you place them in Fremont, let's say, or Bellevue, Ottawa County will pay the same rate as they will be in Port Clinton. So our 4 county district, we see it as a county. But right now we're working on foster treatment homes, which is similar, but children with a little bit higher need, and families are a little bit more trained and skilled into handling those individuals. And we have some of those homes already. And I want you to know, 3 years ago we had 0 within all 4 counties, and today we have 5. Okay. And really the biggest project after this will be, can we establish and implement a youth mental health group home somewhere in between the both districts to really provide better care and also save the cost of taxpayer funds. So this is a new service we're really proud of, and the reason I'm mentioning it, 2 weeks ago, our team of 4 counties, so your DGFS director, and from the other 3 counties and myself, who received the Family and Advocacy Champion of the Year for Youth and Families by the state of Ohio. So we're really proud of that. So I wanted to mention that program as well. Ottawa County started into that January 1 of this year. And the last program I would like to mention is Polly's Place. We call it Polly's Place. So I actually spoke at Farland's First Presbyterian Church the day at 3. And they invited me to speak there because they were really concerned about housing needs for individuals in Ottawa County. And obviously you guys know way better than me the housing challenges here in Port Clinton or Ottawa County. But I do want to let you know that 3 months ago, or approximately 3 months ago, we opened a home here in Port Clinton. It's called Polly's Place. They can house up to 5 women or women with children who might have some mental illness or might be in recovery from alcohol or drugs, or they are just at risk of being homeless or homeless. Our priority is Ottawa County residents to access that facility. Our priority is to put them through a 6-month program. We'll try to get them back on their feet, try to help them with employment, maybe get their driver license back, and obviously the ultimate goal is for them to get their own home or housing arrangements at the end of the 6-month period. We can extend the program for another 6 months if needed for the individual. As of Friday last week, the last report I received, we had 4 individuals there and 2 children. So this is a house here in Port Clinton. Mayor, if you like, or council, I can provide you a yearly report, maybe with some data, but we're exploring that and try to make sure we provide quality services and we have the right outcomes. And if it's a successful program, our goal is to maybe look for a similar facility for men sometimes in the next 12 months, also here in Ottawa County. Any questions? I just wanted to highlight 3 services. Yes?
I have a couple. This mobile response thing, which sounds really cool, I admit that. That's only for Ottawa County, correct?
We have 3 full-time teams that cover our 4-county area, but Ottawa County has their own team,
Yeah.
correct? Correct. They don't go to Huron County or Erie County, correct?
And right now it's only 8 hours a day, like 8 to 5 or something?
It's 9 to 6.
Okay, and you're hoping to get 16.
Correct.
Eventually you'd want a 24, wouldn't you?
Eventually, I want it 24/7, yes.
Yeah. Now, what types of calls would they take? I'm not that familiar with mental health issues, I think. What kind of calls would justify that? Like, what kind of call would you get that you would send that out?
Great question. I tell you the reason why we designed it the way we designed it first. So the state of Ohio, which they're going to do with the 21 and younger, which I don't know if I like. But the state of Ohio wanted to make a 1-800 line available that anybody can call, and will call directly to our mobile crisis response team, and they go. The challenge with that is that we experience when we have some trial and errors, that sometimes you might have families that is calling my team because Johnny doesn't want to do their homeworks. Well, I don't want my team there for that when I have a lot of other crises. So really we focus on individuals who are suicidal, homicidal, risk to themselves or others, people who are in crisis. So when we design it, that's why we design it through the dispatch and 911 and first responders, because they know exactly what's happening on the scene and if it's appropriate for us to go or not to go, if that makes sense.
Will most callers be the one who's having an issue, or will it be a family member or a friend or something?
Usually a family member or friend is calling. Most of the time it's not necessarily the individual, but sometimes it's the individual that's calling as well.
Okay.
Or something is just being reported by a neighbor and 911 is being called, and then they dispatch our team to go as well to the location. The challenging thing to make it 24/7, well, there are two main challenges. One is staffing.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it's really hard to find individuals to do this 24/7, and it's really costly. And right now we are in a process to go through state certification and Ohio Medicaid certification to be able to bill for some of these services so we can sustain our program. It's critical for us to be able to bill for some services for individuals who have Medicaid to at least bill it for us to sustain it. It's a very expensive program. Try to do it 24/7, try to pay for their vehicle, try to pay for insurance and everything else.
Unfortunately, a lot of, I mean, you're the expert on that, but I gotta imagine a lot of those issues happen not between 9 and 6. You know, they happen in the dead of the night or late, you know, so,
Correct.
but I understand your point.
That's another good point. So I want you guys to know, because one of the Sandusky County judges challenged me on this as well. Before we decided what time of day we want our team to be out, we look at the last 5 years of the 911 calls, and surprisingly, between 9 and 6 is when they get the most
Really?
mental health calls.
That makes sense what you said.
And I have all the data from our team for the past 3 years in Ottawa County, which I can also present at some point, or just email it to you guys, where I can break it down where they went. I mean, you know, the most volume, I should say, in a day, or the outcomes of what happened with the situation.
Finally, and I'm sorry to ask, but if this doesn't pass, what gets cut?
Some of what I just described.
That's
will
what I
get cut.
thought, okay. So-
But I want you to know again, I know the residents are pretty upset with the property valuations. Why, guys? I want you guys to know that has no impact on our levy collection. No impact. I'm not going to get into details where the taxes go, but don't come to us.
Okay.
Okay? We will still collect the same amount we collected 20 years ago with this levy.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
No, I just want to say thank you. You guys have been taking care of my brother for probably 20 years. He's got a mental situation, and you guys have been angels for him. Just wanted to say thank you. That's all.
Well, thank you. Thank you for saying well. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Like I said, you're more than welcome to stay, but if you'd like to leave, we understand.
Oh, probably it is.
I know you've had a long day,
It's a
so.
great question.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, we'll see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yes.
We have no public comment. Move on to executive officer reports. I really don't have anything this evening. I'll let the mayor take mine.
Mine too.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, members of council. Hope you all are doing well today. Just a personal quick update on some things. You know, in my day job, as you all know, I bring in kids from overseas to work in the summertime, and some of you have asked, and a lot of people out in the community have asked, you know, how are the kids doing, where are they, and so on and so forth. So real quick update. The 4 young ladies from Thailand are back home in Thailand. The one young lady from Turkey arrived back in Istanbul yesterday. One of the girls from Taiwan has been to Boston, New York City, and is currently in D.C., and after her couple-day trip to D.C., will be going to Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and then Western Canada before heading home. You thought that was impressive. Listen to this one. The second one from Taiwan spent a few days in D.C. As of right this very moment, she is in Milan, Italy, getting ready to board a train to Paris, France, Amsterdam, Netherlands, and finally Munich, Germany before she heads home. So they had a good time this summer. All in all, there are about 550. Bridge USA is the name of the program that the U.S. Department of State created back in the 60s, or Congress created back in the 60s, U.S. State. But 550 kids in this area, and a couple years ago, the community started a welcome event that we had down at the stage at Mom. You know, as you know, we've been talking about finding housing, building a housing, and Ottawa County Improvement Corporation has kind of taken over the baton on that one to lead the charge to get that going, so we can get more folks into the community to help the business provide a better service level. And then the next step in this whole process is creating something called a community support group. And what exactly is a community support group? I'm not really sure. I have an idea, but I'm going to find out. On November 12th to 15th, I'll be taking a trip down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, for the National Community Support Group Conference. So many communities are now taking advantage of this Bridge USA program, and they've realized the needs of the kids coming into their communities, that more and more communities are creating community support groups. I will be going down there with Nicole Wade from Lake Erie Shores and Islands and Pastor Jared Shaw from St. John Lutheran Church. So at the mid part of November, I'll have a much better idea. I'll come back and give you some feedback on that, and hopefully we can get this community support group up and running here in the community. I know it is needed. As an example, some of the things that happen, we've had a couple of, imagine traveling halfway around the world, or a quarter of the way around the world, or several time zones away, and then being life flighted to a hospital and having no one to contact. Just so happens I have a good working relationship with a bunch of different companies that bring these kids in here. My mom and I have sat in hospital rooms this past summer at Cleveland Clinic and over at Firelands to watch for these kids, just to let them know that someone cares. One of the young ladies was flown to Magruder Hospital after Jamaica was hit by a hurricane. She couldn't reach her family. And on top of that, she had some health issues. Rides to grocery stores, rides to Social Security offices, planned events, taking the kids to ball games or shopping or whatever it might be. Tracy could, quote unquote, adopt a kid for a summer and check in on them once a week. Make sure they're doing okay. Hey, do you need this? Do you know where the library is? Just stuff like that. More than just one or two people can do it. It's community wrapping their arms around these kids as they come into the community. Getting them in front of first responders so they know how the 911 system works. So they know it's okay to call if something happens to them. It's not like their country where there's graft and corruption in some law enforcement entities. That firemen are good people, that the librarian is a good person. So it's just kind of that cultural exchange to take it to the next level. So with that, I'll let you know at the end of November how that goes. And we heard some folks talking about this earlier. Of course, the forward-looking infrastructure project is back on track. It was really never off track. We knew, because we kind of got a late start in the planning stage, that there would be a gap in construction. Before Erie Paving left, they were about 35% done with phase 1 of Plan A. Now that they're back, they're working on different areas, Lee and 12th. They'll be going all over the place. There's signs popping up all over the place. Just a friendly reminder from the construction crews, they love cookies. And as they are currently working on the 11th Street area, Margaret, remember those cookies? Deliver those. And they'd ask, kids of all ages love big trucks and love to watch them. I see people parked on State Street watching the trains go by. There's a group that love to do that. But in the construction zone, try to avoid it. If you or your kids want to go down and watch the big trucks, park on a side street and then walk over. Isn't that right, Mr. Trolley?
Yes, sir.
Just some activities that are happening this week around town. The stage down at the district and the mom stage has come down, and actually as of noon today when I finished lunch, or about 1 o'clock, Madison Street is open. It will be temporarily closed this Saturday from about 4 or 5 until 9. There's an organization that had an activity planned, was planning on using the stage. Some other events were canceled, and quite frankly, Tracy and I thought we'd be strung up if we left that stage up with nothing happening for 13 days. So the decision was made to bring everything down. The street will close temporarily on Saturday and be reopened then Saturday evening. That's a witches walk that's taking place downtown. On a side note to the stage and everything, 2 weeks ago tonight, I found myself in Niagara Falls, New York, with a couple of my exchange students. Of course, wearing a Port Clinton Fire Department t-shirt. Folks behind me tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Are you from Port Clinton?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, we're from the Toledo area. We got to tell you, I don't know who did it, but that entertainment downtown is wonderful. We used to go to Put-in-Bay 3 or 4 times a year, and now we don't. We come to Port Clinton and stay in Port Clinton for their trips." They were from White House, and they're smart because the female half was wearing an Ohio State sweatshirt. So it's working. It's bringing people in and keeping them here in Port Clinton. Some other things that are happening in town, there's hydrant flushing going around in various spots. The docks, the municipal docks at the Portage River will be coming out. Some of them might have already been pulled, but by the end of next week, they will all be out. Tomorrow morning, if you are interested in something fun and exciting, tomorrow is Bike to School Day. Pat Atkins, superintendent, called me and said, "Hey, Mr. Mayor, would you like to join me in a bike ride?" So get at the bus garage tomorrow morning at 7:45, and you'll see Mr. Atkins and I riding bikes, escorting kids to Baton Elementary School. On the 10th at 11:30 is the ribbon cutting ceremony for the wetlands. That's being organized by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Look for, they're going to have a little tent or something set up down there somewhere between the lighthouse and the wetlands area. Again, 11:30 on the 10th, which is Thursday. You may have noticed out in front of City Hall here, there's some ceiling. Thank you. I couldn't think that. There's some ceiling and striping work being done. That'll happen for the next 2 weeks. It has absolutely positively nothing to do with the infrastructure project. This is something the city and county has been talking about for quite some time now. So you may find anyone coming into the City Hall municipal court area, some little interruptions. Just follow the signs and park where you can. Next week, activities next week is the citywide cleanup on Saturday from 8 to 3. And remember, this will be the last. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's a nice thing. So 8 to 3 next Saturday is the citywide cleanup. Next week, starting on Tuesday, City Hall and city offices will be closed on Monday because of the holiday. Starting on Tuesday is the final brush pickup of the year. Again, starting on the west end, moving their way east. So get your stuff out this weekend, because once they've passed you, it's just not feasible with the manpower to come back around. Again, starting on the west next Tuesday. And the restrooms at the various places. The one at Taft Hill always stays open year-round. The other 2 locations, City Park and Waterworks Park, the original plan was to close them next week, but the weather looks pretty good. So Tracy and the fellows are going to kind of keep an eye out, maybe keep them open an extra week. Last Friday, Tracy and I had an opportunity, and those of you that have been around for a while, in 2017, and I'm going to butcher this because it's in Spanish. In 2017, Port Clinton became a sister city of a community in the Dominican Republic, Llama al Norte. Close enough? Close enough. The mayor of that community was in town last week. He's looking to start a fire department down there. They don't have fire protection. Most of the buildings are made of wood with the tin roofs, and they have intermittent electricity, so they use a lot of candles at night. Candles cause fire. So he was in town just to get some ideas and talk to Brian Gutman and Tracy and I. We had a great conversation. They got to ride on a fire truck. And these folks were all brought to the Port Clinton area by former Port Clinton High School resident, Port Clinton High School graduate rather, Lindsay Kaufman, who has a program called Strength for the Journey down in the Dominican Republic. I know she's been in this room, and others have heard her talk at other locations. Folks, we all saw what happened in North Carolina with the hurricane, and we're all praying for friends and family and structures that we may know down in Florida about what's coming. But Brian's Home Service, as well as Kuzma Concrete and Construction, are going to be making a trip to Asheville, North Carolina to deliver needed supplies. They'll be collecting those supplies at the Sutton Center this Thursday and Friday. Thursday from noon until 6 p.m. and Friday from 8 until noon. And what they're looking for: non-perishable food items, bleach and other cleaning supplies, bottled water, paper towels, toilet paper, pet food, and baby formula. But really, they'll take just about anything and they'll go down. If you're not able to make it between, what do they say, noon and 6 on Thursday and 8 to noon on Friday, prior to that noon on Friday, if you have anything, drop it off at the police station. They're open 24 hours. Leave it in the lobby. We'll make sure it gets down to the folks loading up the trailers and trucks to get it down to the folks in the Carolinas. November 1st, the Port Clinton Kiwanis Club, which I'm a proud member of, is having their 11th annual evening at the races at the Elks Lodge. Doors open at 6, tickets are $25 each, and if you're interested in buying a horse, and I can explain that to you on an individual basis, what that means, let me know, and we'll make sure that happens. It's a blast. You basically watch horse races that have been videotaped from way back when, gamble on them. It's a blast. People yelling at a TV for a race that happened in 1984. It's fantastic. And then finally, I was waiting for the applause. Finally, next Wednesday, the 16th of October, is my father's 79th birthday, so happy birthday, Dad. With that, unless anyone has any questions, that concludes my report. Mr. Trolley?
Mr. Morgan?
Mr. Morgan?
I have one question.
Yeah.
The trash bins that are out here on the Saturday, a week and a half from now.
Yeah.
8 to 3. Is it 8 to 3 or 8 till they're full?
8 till they're full. Most of the time it is 3, but get here early.
Okay, but so like, I know you can't guarantee, but it's usually till 3.
In past years, like 5 years ago, it was done by noon, but it hasn't happened for a while.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, thank you.
And contact City Hall for a list of prohibited items.
Okay.
The auditor's not with us. Treasurer's report.
All right, through October 7th, our Fed taxes collections are $301,361.56, which is 91% of our expected revenue. The dock tax is at $22,499.89, which is 10% over our expected revenue. And the rental registrations, its collections are $61,500. Being the first year, we only expected to get $30,000, and so we're double our estimated revenues.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for the treasurer? Okay, law director's not with us. Mr. Colston, safety service.
Nothing tonight unless someone has questions.
Anyone have any
More than
questions?
happy to answer if I can.
Move on to city staff reports. Mr. Chrisman, do you have
Nothing
anything?
tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Move on to committee reports. Finance, Ms. Solis.
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Mr. Trolley, Environment, Public Works.
Yeah, you'll see there's two of my meeting minutes, but we'll vote on that next.
Yes.
But other than that, that's it.
Okay. Safety services, Ms. Phillips.
Nothing, thank you.
Okay. And Mrs. Gilman is not here with for the economic and community developments. The correspondence will have to be tabled for this evening and moved to the next meeting. Again, as we only have 4 members present of council. We have no readings of ordinances and resolutions. Move on to business from the floor. Mr. Morgan?
Yeah, the district, I drove by there today and I saw it was open, and it was kind of mixed emotions, because it's nice to be able to drive down that street, but I agree with those people. I know one person this town who thinks it's the wrong thing to do. I think he's crazy, but everyone else, everything about it is good. Yes, sometimes late at night, I hear the noise, doesn't keep me up or anything, but it is an excellent idea, and I think it helps our city, and people just love it there. So no, it's good, and so I was glad I could turn down Madison Street, but it's nice when it's there. Even I don't go there that much. I go sometimes, but it is definitely a good thing. So it's good that we did it.
Mr. Morgan, as a council person, you are welcome to stand in the middle of Madison Street anytime you want.
Can I play my keyboard too?
Okay, thank you. Ms. Phillips?
Nothing to say. I've only heard good comments, especially since the streets are working again.
Ms. Otis?
Happy birthday to Steph. And that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Trolley?
Just to follow up with Mr. Morgan's comment, you ever thought about keeping it up through the holidays? I mean, it'd be kind of cool. I know the snow plowing, I know that plays a big into it. I thought it'd be kind of cool for Christmas and have it up, but just my thought, just my comment. Other than that, wish your dad a happy birthday from us, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Seeing no further business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam President, I move this August body adjourn.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Trolley. I have a motion by Ms. Phillips, second by Mr. Trolley to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same signs. Thank you. We're adjourned.
Clear.